2012, I qualified through Q School to go play on the PGA Tour Canada, and I did that for an entire season. Over time, I started having a lot of trouble with my pivot or my turn into my right side. I even have some coaches that were really frustrated with me because I wasn't able to do exactly what they were asking me to do. My pain was like a dull ache that was probably like a 3 or 4 on a scale of 10 at like all times, and sometimes it would be as much as like a 6 or 7.
Joe was a 26-year-old professional golfer who developed a lot of pain in his right hip, and so golfing and a lot of other sports require a lot of rotation on the hip, and so if the hip isn't quite perfect, then that's going to affect your ability to swing. It's going to affect your ability to play around without having pain.
I had some x-rays done, and I had a slight hip deformation that didn't allow me to rotate into my right hip properly. And so in golf, you have to have a lot of internal hip rotation. And with all that repetitive use and having that limited range of motion, I was really putting a lot of stress on my hip and on my glute.
This was affecting not only his recreational activity, but for Joe, because he was a professional golfer, it also was affecting his occupation as well. Most people don't understand that joint pain is actually in the groin and not in the outside of their hip.
I just still didn't believe that I had a hip issue.
His MRI showed that he had a labral tear, and the labral tear showed that he had significant damage inside his hip joint. So he had hip arthroscopy surgery, which basically involved 3 portal incisions about the size of your fingertip. Looked inside his hip joint. We identified the cartilage and labral tears. We sewed them back together, removed the areas of kind of bony impingement on the acetabular side or the socket side of the joint, as well as on the ball side of the joint.
I just don't have any lower back pain. I'm able to sit and I don't have any discomfort. I'm swinging more freely. I feel more flexible. I'm no longer competing as a professional, but I'll continue to compete on an amateur level, and this is going to allow me to still compete at a high level.